Hello, all. This is Gabrielle Marcel, and I want to thank you so much for spending this moment with me. It truly means so much to me. Hey, Gabs Tribe. I hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to day 9 of Vlogtober. Welcome. And once again, thank you so much for the support. All right, so today, the plan was to meal prep, and I think that pretty much was it as far as the plan. To get, what I planned for the day was to meal prep. And so we didn't meal prep, but we did some cleaning. So I'm going to count that as a win. I mean, we had enough food to get us through the day. I made that chicken salad, so we ate that today, and we have enough for the beginning of the day tomorrow. So definitely tomorrow I need to make something. It's such a struggle. It really is, but at least we had that chicken salad, and it'll be enough to get us through tomorrow, the beginning of the day anyway. And then last night, oh my gosh, I got so hungry last night, so I was supposed to be intermittent fasting. Oh no. I got so hungry last night, I had to break down, and I ate a couple pieces of like low carb bread, and I drank a protein drink. So yeah, so I ended up just doing, like, with the intermittent fasting, I did 12 hours instead of the 16. I just ended up doing 12. Yeah, because I'm like, there's just no way. I was just way too hungry. And that's because, I didn't make that chicken salad until later on, when my eating window was closed. And I had only had like those 2 protein shakes or whatever. So I was hungry. And so I didn't do the 16-8, but I did do 12 and 12. So I'm going to count that as a win. It's not exactly what I was like trying to do, but it's better than not doing anything. And then also I still have to make that apple cider vinegar mix. I did clean out like the bottle that I used to make it, because I had like some leftover mixture from when I made it last time. So I cleaned out that bottle. So at least the bottle is clean, so I'll be able to do that. I definitely need to do that tomorrow. So that's the plan, to do that tomorrow. Yeah. And then we'll just, I've convinced myself, or I figured the best way to do this is to just take it day by day, because like if I have like all these like things I want to accomplish for the day, and I stress myself out about it, then I'm just going to get overwhelmed, and I'm not going to feel good about myself. So I have just decided to just go through each day and do what I can, especially right now, because I haven't even begun the medicine regimen for the PCOS. Hoping to do that tomorrow, especially since like I'm taking a birth control pill. I'm not really sure like if it matters if I have to take it like at the same time every day, since I'm not taking it to prevent pregnancies. But anyway, so yeah, so that's the plan, to like take that tomorrow with my other medication, so then that way like really get a regimen going. I did do an Amazon order today. I didn't do my vitamins, but I did do some Splenda, and I did some coffee creamer, except I forgot I actually had already bought some sweetener. I'm telling you, that brain fog is real. I was telling Lillian, why didn't you tell me that I had already gotten sweetener from the grocery store? She was like, I forgot. So I'm like, okay, so I bought the sweetener, didn't need the sweetener. I mean, but But she's like, well, mommy, we're going to use it. I'm like, yeah, but I didn't need it right now, you know? But it is what it is, because she's right. We are going to use it. I guess I was just thinking, like, I wanted to do the yogurt, and I was thinking, like, what was I missing to do the yogurt? And I was thinking, like, oh, I need the sweetener, because I do the Greek yogurt with a little bit of coffee creamer and berries or whatever fruit, and then the sweetener. And I was missing the sweetener and the coffee creamer. So anyway, so hopefully I'll do the, and it'd be nice if I could get the yogurt done soon, but you know, we probably would just end up just doing the yogurt every day versus me trying to prep the yogurt. I'm not really sure. We'll just have to see what happens. That's what I mean. I'm just taking it day by day, because I just never know, like, how I'm going to feel. And until I start feeling better, I just don't want to, like, put too much pressure on myself. I mean, I want to definitely do, like, continue to do the intermittent fasting, continue to do these videos, you know, do the things that, like, I know I can do, but other things that just tire me out, then, you know, I'll just do those as I can. But like I said, we did some cleaning today, and I did like a small Amazon order, so we're going to count today as a win, definitely. So today I wanted to talk about crying. So I was like, when I was cleaning, I came across this notebook. I've had this notebook for many years, and I used to like jot things down when I attended church back in the day. Different, like, you know, messages from the sermon. And this was, I started this in September 2007. So I have like some different like lines and things. And when I found it, I was going through it, and there is some lines I wrote about crying. So I want to read them. So there is, he cried. It's okay to cry. It helps release the pressure. When you're done crying, wipe your tears and do something about it. When you're done crying, move forward. And honestly, the reason I wanted to, when I read those lines, it really hit home for me personally, because if you know me, you know that, like, I'm super emotional, and I am a cry baby. Like, I have been a cry baby ever since I was a little girl. Very emotional. Did a lot of crying growing up. And I was made to feel so much shame about crying. And what really gets me is that I feel like no one ever really addressed why I was crying. It was just, I was made to feel shame about crying. But why was I crying? What was being done to me or said to me that made me cry? And I was just not given a safe space to cry. Actually, my mother was in a really bad car accident when I was about 11. Really bad car accident. You know, it was all thanks to God that she even survived that car accident. She got hit by a Mack truck. She had just gone to a used car lot and had picked up a new car, well, a used car, and didn't even get a chance to make it home. Got hit by a Mack truck. And the accident was so bad. I want to say it was even on the news, if I'm not mistaken, but it was so bad they had to use the jaws of life to get her out of the car. My younger brother was in the car with her. He was fine, no scratches. Nothing happened to him. He left that accident without a scratch. But my mother, she had to end up, I think she was like in a coma, had a stroke, lost her spleen, and she also lost her tear ducts. And because her tear ducts were damaged, she was never able to cry again after that accident. And I can't even imagine like what it would be like to live life without crying, without being able to like have that release. And so because my mother wasn't able to cry, she began to look at crying as a sign of weakness. Now, I'm not sure if she thought that was a sign of weakness before her accident when she was able to cry. I don't know. But I definitely know after her accident, it was considered a sign of weakness. And I remember I was going through something and I was so heartbroken. I had gone through a situation at work, and people who, I thought would back me up didn't. And I remember I was so heartbroken. And I just remember I would cry. Every time I thought about it, I just would cry. And I remember her saying to me, "You know what, Gaby, that's one of the things I don't like about you. You just cry so much." I remember that like it was yesterday. We were like in the car and I was just so upset. But I was so heartbroken because whatever situation I was going through, there were people who I had been there for that I really would have thought would have backed me up, that really threw me under the bus. And I was like just so heartbroken about that, because when I tell you this particular person that threw me under the bus, like I went above and beyond for that person that I worked with. And for them to just, instead of saying, "Oh, this is unfortunate that this happened because Gabrielle is normally dependable," or whatever the situation was, instead of like backing me up, they just made the situation worse. And I was like, out of all the things I've done for this person, why would they say these things about me instead of uplifting me, instead of supporting me? And I was so heartbroken. And when my mother said that, honestly, it broke my heart again. Because once again, I was not given a safe space to cry. Because it was always about me crying and not about what was done to me to make me cry. What was done to me to hurt my feelings or to hurt me. I feel like no one ever addressed that. No one ever addressed what was being said to me, how I was being treated. No one ever addressed that. No one ever stood up for me to say that's enough to stop it from happening. But it was always, "You such a crybaby. All you do is cry." It would have been nice had somebody stood up for me. Had somebody stopped the teasing. Had somebody stopped people mistreating me. But no one did. It just continued. So what I want to say is, maybe you're going through something or gone through something, and you haven't allowed yourself to cry. You haven't allowed yourself to process it, because maybe you come from a household like I come from, where you were taught crying was a sign of weakness, where your feelings were hurt and you cried and people made you feel bad about crying, and so now you don't cry. But maybe crying about whatever hurt you or is hurting you will help you feel better. So go ahead and cry. I don't care what anybody says. It is okay to cry. Because crying helps you release it. Crying helps you process it. Because carrying it around or holding it in, that doesn't help you. It hurts you. And I'm not talking about just crying and crying and crying and not moving past it or moving forward. I'm talking about crying, and crying as many times as you need to cry, but moving forward. And I think that's something I just really wasn't taught, how to move forward. So at 44, that's what I'm working on. Moving forward. So if you need to cry, go ahead and cry. Just be sure that you move forward. And sometimes we need to cry about a situation more than one time. Cry about the situation as many times as you need to cry about it. Especially if it's a situation that happened years ago that you've never cried about. You gotta cry 10 times about the situation. Cry 10 times about the situation. But keep moving forward. Because healing, it ebbs and flows. It's an up and down thing. It doesn't happen in a straight line. So when you feel the need to cry, cry. But just get up and move forward. And know that crying does not make you weak. It doesn't. I don't care if your mama told you it did. Your mama wrong. My mama was wrong. I would love to ask my mother, do you feel that way because you can't cry? Is that why crying is a sign of weakness to you? See, somebody will make you feel some type of way about doing something that they can't do. That doesn't even make sense. making you feel bad about crying because they can't cry. What sense does that make? I would love to ask her that, but she's not here any longer, so I can't. It's a lot of things I would love to ask her, but that's one of them. But she's not here anymore. But regardless if she's here or not, she was wrong. Crying, allowing yourself to process what happened to you and releasing it, taking the pressure off of yourself and moving forward, it's one of the best things you can ever do for yourself. If anything, I would say not crying is harmful. Not processing it is harmful. Not dealing with it is harmful. So the affirmation for today is, I give myself permission to cry and move forward. So if you need to cry, go ahead. And once again, I don't care who told you it's a sign of weakness. They're wrong. They're wrong. Especially if it's someone who doesn't even allow themselves to cry. Because how would they even know? Because somebody told them? And who told them that? And why did they tell them that? But really, that's not any of your business. Your business is, if you feel the need to cry, do it. But we're going to cry and we're going to move forward. I give myself permission to cry and move forward. See you all tomorrow. Bye.